have just returned from a journey on your behalf. I must just start with gratitude, overwhelming gratitude for the honor of drawing this drum through and walking with it through a time in my life. Now that I've just taken your journey for awakening journey, I understand why it's been with me through this time. I'll just go to the awakening ceremony. So, first I was lifted by my owl and started off into the darkness, which is not something I normally do. But everything was very dark, and then my owl shape shifted into your sea serpent, and I was being carried and guided through water. And he was right here. And we were traveling through water. He said, put your arms out. And so I did, and it felt like flying with the little bit of tension that water would give you as you travel through, gliding. And I commented that it was so dark. And then he told me to look up. And as I looked up, I saw way in the distance, as through, you know, the depths of water, light way up there. And we began an ascent with this gliding motion, this back and forth gliding motion. And I could see the light coming closer and nearer through the water, through the movement of the water. And then just as quickly, then we started to go down again, round and around and around, and we were traveling into the darkness. And I commented again, it's so dark, I can't see anything. And he was very clear with me. He said, look, wait, look, watch. Open your eyes, watch, look in that darkness, look in the dark. What do you see? Watch, wait, look, over and over again. And eventually, as if when you go into a room and you've been outside and it's bright and then there's, you know, it's a pitch black room, you can't see a thing, but slowly things start to come into view. It was like this. Underwater, deep in the depths of the waters. And what I saw was a place that I've been taken to before by my orca whale. It was an underwater city made what looked like crystal, like beautiful, gleaming, very, very lit, but lit in a very tender way, a very dim to our eyes on the surface way. But beautifully, it was very beautiful. And I recognized it, and he knew I would recognize it. And then we traveled off into the dark some more. There was a lesson about the being in the dark and seeing in the dark. And that, and then your owl came in as the giver of sight in the dark, on the surface and above the surface here, while your sea serpent is the giver of sight in the depths, in the darkness of the depths. And they both were teaching me about this drum is the gift of seeing in that darkness. That could be the darkness of what's happening on our planet at this time, or the fear or wondering or confusion. Could be the darkness of the self and the soul as we move through life and things are not always easy. It could be the darkness of another, questioning what's going on, or self-questioning things, not feeling like we have the answers. It's that kind of darkness of uncertainty or fear or loneliness or not knowing or questioning or hopelessness or despair or deep grief. All of those darknesses that really, when we allow ourselves to sink deeply into that unknowing space and look and let that sight in the darkness open in consciousness, there is utter beauty and absolute grace and power and community, and that we are never alone in that. The spirits of your drum want to communicate through this vision and this awakening that this is their purpose, your purpose. And they showed me you, soul you, and those who surround you, Roxanne and Tawny Sky, soul them. And I felt so humbled and so honored, and just bowed to the beauty of who you all are and the work that you're doing in this world in your own way, and the humility of being called to bring your drum forward was so great and so powerful. And I want you to know, I see you all. I see you from here and from here. And thank you for that. Merlin came in also, and to that ability to see, that sight in the dark, Merlin wanted to add the agility and swiftness to move through those places, through those fields of consciousness. Yeah, it was agility and speed to be able to do that and to move through it. So it's not like going down and miring yourself in the mud, it's not that at all. It's utilizing your guides and your guardians and the waters of consciousness and your drumming that will take you to those places. And they kept showing me, and I was drumming in the symbol, just like your sea serpent was swimming in the symbol, the infinity symbol, back and forth and back and forth, and that you, as drummer, as healer, as holder of this place of being able to see in the dark, sit right at that fulcrum point, that middle point, right in the center, between this activity and this movement that is unceasing, never ceasing. That you sit here, you drum with your drumstick in hand, and that is where you can see from as all of the movement occurs. Your ancestors came forward again, surrounding you, and Roxanne and Tawny Sky, always surrounding you, always, always, in everything you do. Just lots of messages to you about being that walker between the worlds, the ability to see in the dark, and that it's a gift that you have and hold, and to share that gift from that space in the middle, from that fulcrum. Be the fulcrum, right? Be that center point in that balanceando, that balanced state between here and there, but able to walk in all of it. Whew. Yeah. So yeah, that very powerful. That's everything that I was given in this journey. I Would you like to see her? Your drum surprised me every step of the way. I had no idea. Just no idea, and I never do, but this one was particularly powerful for me to work with, to see in the dark as I moved through the last months of my life. Okay. Here she is. As we talked about, the eyes are all in, I'm sorry, my left brain isn't working right now. The Shungite that we talked about, all of the eyes are in Shungite. And when you look flat on, you'll be able to see for sure. There's varying degrees of gold running through the serpent. And I don't really know what to say other than just to show you. So the blue of the water went over the edges, but also dripped on the rocks, so you'll see it in lots of places. It's really quite stunning to me, the coloration and the way it turned out. I didn't expect the movement in the water, or of course you've seen the inside of the hoop. And yeah, today I used my own mallet. This is from a 1,000-year-old Western red cedar, and she fell 2 years ago in the rainforest, and I used to awaken all drums inside of her. She had 3 rooms inside of her. She was huge. So I was very bonded to her as an awakening tree, and when she went down, I went to visit, and she asked me to take some of her back so that she could continue her work of awakening. So I used her to awaken your drum. And I'm not going to show you because I want something to be a surprise, but going along with is not only one mallet made of redwood with the bear for you, but there's a second one made of redwood with elk for Roxanne, and a third one made of redwood with rabbit for Tawny Sky. So the 3 of you each have your own mallet. Each has its own energy and frequency, and so those will come along with. It was really sweet hearing that to make that happen, and very beautiful. So it's been a stunning few months, and again, I just can't say enough how honored, deeply, deeply honored I've been to walk this journey with you. We must stay in touch because I feel so deeply bonded to you as family, and I look forward to coming and visiting at some point, drumming together, singing together, and just loving each other as family. And with that, I say thank you, thank you, thank you from the bottom of my heart and my soul for this time and this experience, and the wisdom that has flowed through you and through the experience of making your drum. And I thank you all. Thank you so much. Thank you.